Unicorn Hunters is not a financial advisor or broker. It showcases potential unicorns on its show, but we do not make any representations or guarantees about their future value. All investments have significant risks. If you choose to invest in a company presented on Unicorn Hunters, it will be between you and the company. Get ready, world, for a whole new way to invest. Introducing the Unicorn Hunters.
We're talking about a cultural and economic shift.
A savvy group of investors whose only job is to provide an unvarnished assessment of who they think can become the next unicorn.
Still trying to come up with an idea of what actually your product is.
Sex sells, my friend. Sex sells.
What would you do with that extra $20 million?
Meet the Circle of Money, our Unicorn Hunters. Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple.
I am in and I'm going to invest.
Mo Vella, attorney, business consultant, and two-term White House senior advisor.
Everyone has a place at the table.
Silvina Moschini, international entrepreneur and CEO of SheWorks.
I believe in you and I'm going to invest.
Lance Bass, boy band phenom, businessman, and venture fund investor.
One word I love is disruptive, and this is that.
Scott Livingston, a securities expert known on Wall Street. Rosie Rios, financial wizard and former treasurer of the United States, with her signature on over $1.7 trillion of U.S. currency.
This could be a game changer for a lot of families.
Alex Konyanikin, a serial entrepreneur, author, and CEO of Transparent Business.
I'm going to invest.
Together with you, they're on the hunt for the next unicorn.
While all of us have our own strategies for investing and our own preferences when it comes to sectors and business markets, it's important that as you continue on this journey with us, that you do your own research, seek independent advice, and of course, never risk what you can't afford to. Circle of Money, I think we're all ready to hear about this unicorn. Shall we go hunt for buried treasure?
Yes. Let's go.
Michael Nelson and Bill Reisacker are a dynamic duo who both graduated Cornell University. Michael worked as an investment banker and managed a billion-plus portfolio at Barclays Capital. Bill is a board-certified allergy specialist and director of allergy services at Weill Cornell Medical College. Their common bonds and passions brought them together to found Intrommune Therapeutics. They plan to combat one of the world's most common and severe allergies in a unique approach that might just turn their company into a major unicorn player in the preventative healthcare market.
Hello, Unicorn Hunters. My name is Bill Reisacker, and I'm the Senior Scientific Advisor.
And I'm Michael Nelson, the Chief Executive Officer.
And we're Intrommune Therapeutics from New York City. Now, everybody knows somebody who has food allergy. After all, they estimate that there may be 500 million of us out there. I'm allergic to peanuts, and when I was 7 years old, I attended a family function. Suddenly, my cousin gives me a cookie. I took a bite out of the cookie, and I felt a tingling inside my mouth. It usually goes away, but this time it didn't. I felt that I was getting more itchy in my mouth and my whole body was starting to get itchy and red. And I felt like my tongue was getting too big for my mouth. Then I noticed that I really couldn't breathe as well as I should, and that's when I got my parents involved. My mom screams, my dad tosses me into the back seat of the car, and off we go, taking off to the hospital. And they say your life is flashing before your eyes. Well, I was only 7, so it was like a short film, but it just kept playing over and over again. I didn't know what was going on. But as you can tell, we made it to the hospital and I survived. But unfortunately, not everybody does that. I got lucky and I got a second chance. Accidental exposures from food allergy is so common and so dangerous. I'm an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and I treat patients who have food allergies, and even I have a few accidental exposures every year where something that I'm eating is contaminated with peanuts. But for the people who suffer from this disease, and their families who love them and care for them every day, every meal, every birthday party, and every backyard barbecue is a source of fear and anxiety. And that's exactly why we created Intrommune. Our product is a very special toothpaste that delivers food proteins to the immune system without having to swallow them. Science has shown that if you can expose the food proteins to the inside part of the mouth on a regular basis, that you can actually become less allergic to those foods. The inside part of the mouth teaches the body that food is safe. Plus, it does everything that a regular toothpaste can do, which is great because you have to do this therapy on a regular basis for a long period of time, maybe even lifelong, in order to maintain your protection against those accidental exposures that I was talking about. And that's really what our product is all about.
Thank you, Bill. Intrommune's first product is a peanut allergy toothpaste with unicorn potential. And when I say unicorn potential, what I mean is we expect sales of over $1 billion per year. But this is a platform technology that we're developing. Our second product aims to target several of the foods that cause 90% of food allergies. So our second product has even higher earnings potential. We recently closed a financing round. We raised enough money to complete our IND application and also to complete our first phase 1 study.
And we're so excited to announce that the FDA has accepted our investigational new drug application, and we recently began enrolling patients in our phase 1 clinical study.
We are here today in hopes to raise $20 million.
Won't you please join us on this wonderful journey, and let's help take the fear out of people's lives.
Can I jump in, everybody? This is personal for me. I am allergic to gluten, soy, and peanuts. I live every day in that fear. How soon do you expect that you will, Michael, expand to those products that you're suggesting are coming down the path here for other allergies, not just peanuts?
We've actually started the research to look at one toothpaste that will combine several proteins, so from several foods. We've started that research. We aim to get that into clinical studies next year. And then the products take about 4 or 5 years to get through the FDA process.
I hope to still be alive by the time you're done.
We're working hard.
Can you tell me how many people or kids die from peanut allergies in the country?
So the number of people that die from food allergies is about 200. So that's 200 too many. Often the people who do tend to pass away tend to be teenagers in the prime of their life. But really the issue here, this changes your entire life. You and your family live in fear.
Yeah, food allergies are not only life-threatening, but they're quality of life-threatening.
Right.
There are levels of kind of resistance to the allergies that you can build up by the method of, slightly ingesting the proteins and a schedule. But you can't kind of kill off the allergy, but how many fewer would die?
We hope the number of fatalities can drop to something that's close to zero, because that really shouldn't happen once you have a level of protection. There's always a chance that you could have an accidental exposure that's
That's
tremendous.
because toothbrushing would be more desirable than the other method of doing this that's going now?
There are other ways that are out there, putting drops under the tongue. The differentiator in our product is that we can get the dose a little bit higher to provide a higher level of protection while also maintaining the safety.
And it's part of a habit that we already do. So adding the
right.
underneath the tongue would be an extra thing to
Right.
teach
And
someone.
That's one of the key advantages is we know allergy immunotherapy works if you do it every day. And the one thing that most people do every day is brush their teeth. There's a number of advantages. So we contact all of the surface of the mucosa. So we're already contacting 12 times the amount of the mucosa as if you just took drops under the tongue. You learn from a very young age to spit out toothpaste so you don't get those systemic effects.
This is a way to desensitize yourself, get that level of protection. We're not advocating going out and eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at will. This is not really for that. This is to give you a level of safety. This is your insurance policy, so that just in case you get an accidental exposure, even with maybe even half or a quarter of a peanut, you're not going to have the type of problem that I had.
Bill, Michael, it's all about growth, as any investor knows. So you mentioned about 500 million people possibly have a food allergy. Is that global or domestic?
Yeah, that's a global number.
That's a global number.
In the US, there's about 32 million people with food allergies. About 6 million have peanut allergies, so that's our first target. When we were giving you those sales numbers, we were actually talking about US market numbers. So the rest of the world, is additive to those numbers.
Excellent.
So the innovation lies on the delivery model, on how you deliver the protein in the right dose, correct?
Right. Yes, so this is a product that you will go to your allergist. They will give you our lowest dose of the toothpaste, and you'll be on that for 2 weeks. You'll go back to the allergist office, and we're targeting about 5 visits to the allergist office, so about 5 up doses. But then you get to a maintenance dose, and you'll stay on that maintenance dose potentially for the rest of your life.
I know it's hard to project accurately, but can you talk a little bit about phase 1, when you're going to be in phase 2, kind of what you see for phase 3, both for this product and for other products in your portfolio?
So the phase 1 study, we've started. We're in phase 1 right now, which is a big inflection point for the company. Our goal is to get into phase 2 by the end of this year. So we're working very hard to get all the chemistry and manufacturing put together to get into phase 2 this year. That study will be a little over a year long. We will then be starting the phase 3 study right after that. So we're looking at 2023-24 for the phase 3 study. The second product is we're targeting multi-foods. There's 8 other foods out of the 9 that cause over 90% of food allergies. We're going to target several of those. We're looking to get that into phase 1 next year.
Okay.
A real quick question. Have you already begun to talk to the insurance industry on reimbursements, Medicare reimbursement codes, all these things? Have you already gone there?
Yeah, we know CPT codes are coming down for food allergy immunotherapy, so that's how the doctor gets paid. Reimbursement for food allergy immunotherapies, right now it's a little bit under $11,000 per year, and that's a product that potentially causes a lot of adverse events. 14% of patients need epinephrine because of that product. We think we're going to end up with 0% needing epinephrine during the updosing and maintenance period. So, we have arguments that it could even be higher, but we haven't set the pricing. We're still a few years away from setting the pricing.
From your lips to the allergy god's ears.
You said you were going to have $1 billion in sales, but you didn't specify timeline. And also, you mentioned that you raised money, but you didn't specify how much you raised, what were the use of proceeds, and how you're going to use the funds for this next rise.
Each year, there's another 100,000 peanut allergic individuals. At $10,000 a patient, you're up to $1 billion. Now, obviously, we won't get 100% coverage, but we estimated the total market potential for this product is close to $7 billion per year just in the U.S. In Europe, there's actually even more peanut allergic individuals and rest of world. So the potential is huge. And we have 35 patents growing that we have global exclusive rights to. That's how we are arriving at the market size and the potential and sales numbers. And there's also been quite a bit of Wall Street analysts looking at this space and what the potential for drugs are. In terms of
what
proceeds,
will be the timeline? Like, for example, when do you expect to reach $1 billion in sales?
We expect there to be a lot of patients waiting for our product when it come out. So we think within 3 years, we hit that $1 billion target, so very quickly. With regards to the capital raise that you asked about, to date, we've raised a little over $3 million. About half of that was used for our investigational new drug application. That was CMC, getting through the FDA process, developing the protocols. The other half, some of that's being used for the phase 1 study that we started already, and then we still have some cash in the bank.
You mentioned that this is a platform technology. Can you educate me on what that actually means?
We were talking about peanut allergy toothpaste, but the technology that underlies it, which we call oral mucosal immunotherapy, and how we stabilize the proteins, can be used for any food allergy. And so that technology is open not just for peanut, but for any food. But our initial target will be those 9 foods that cover 90% of food.
So there are no allergies that would not work for this, like shellfish, all the big ones?
Potentially. Now, the multi-food product could be one multi-food product, or it could be broken up into a couple of different groups. So that we're gonna decide on.
Okay.
Our intellectual property, we have global exclusive license to any food allergy for oral care products in general. So the IP is not just around toothpaste, but toothpaste is the thing that most people do every day. And so it incorporates right into your routine. It's exposing it right in the gums and the cheek, which is where you actually have the highest concentration of the cells we're trying to contact. So it makes the most sense.
Did you create the chemical solution for those proteins, or are you just applying it?
The proteins are naturally sourced, so we have those coming from a peanut supplier. and then we incorporate those into our toothpaste matrix.
Well, you just put them into toothpaste. I thought you were describing earlier that you had sounded like some molecular
chemical. There's an
chemical
extraction method that we use with glycerin.
Yeah, so there's a process to make those proteins more available to the immune system, and then there's a lot of the IP is around how we stabilize those proteins. And then there's a lot of regulatory controls.
So you don't just mix small peanut amounts into toothpaste. There's some other procedure that somebody else developed.
There's a lot of time and money going into controlling that and running through the FDA approval process and getting that dosing in terms of finding the sweet spot where you don't get the adverse events, but you do get the efficacy, and you can.
So don't mix your peanut butter into your toothpaste from home. We don't want to recommend doing that.
No, good for you. I'm just trying to get down to what's all involved in the solution.
Okay, gentlemen, I understand not only you have high confidence that approach works, but you already been using it in treating respiratory diseases. Given that, wouldn't it speed up the process if you started independently additional trials in other countries which you intend to make your other major markets?
So we are looking at doing studies in other countries. Certainly in our phase 2 studies, we will have some done in Europe, Canada, Eastern Europe. We have patents issued in Russia, Southeast Asia. So we have patents across the world that we've licensed. So it does make sense, and we've looked at other countries. Australia is a great one. They give you a lot of money back if you do studies there, and they actually have worse issues with food allergies in terms of percentage of the population than the United States does. So we've certainly looked into it. This initial study is being done right in New Jersey, but we're going to be growing that, and we expect to have studies all across the world.
Understood. Well, thank you.
For this $20 million raise, what percentage is that of your company that's sales?
That would be about 25% of the company.
So you plan to license your IP, or do you also plan to make the toothpaste?
I expect we will be doing a fair bit of licensing in Europe. Geographically, it makes sense, but we do expect to do the manufacturing. We actually have a manufacturing facility in New Jersey that is making the product for us.
Please have multiple flavors.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And fluoride and non-fluoridated. We want to make sure that everyone who has food allergies has access to this, and we will make sure that we create programs that makes this product accessible to people.
We weren't interested in just putting together a toothpaste. We wanted to create a beautiful product, something that was very nice for people to use, flavor, that it had a good functionality. So we're spending a lot of time working on the product itself, making sure that it is a nice consumer product. And so definitely multiple flavors are a big part of that. We want people to feel like they're not even using a treatment.
But there really aren't alternatives out now.
There are no alternatives out there right now. But we want people to feel like they're not even receiving any therapy. It has to melt so seamlessly into their lives, into their routine, that they don't feel ill, they don't feel sick. Because when you're doing some sort of a therapy or something you don't normally do in your life, you tend to feel ill, you tend to feel sick. So we don't want people to feel like that just because they have food allergies.
Gentlemen, I think it's important for us and our global investors to know what will determine whether you do a SPAC this year or an IPO next year.
We're going to look at the SPAC market and see what's available. If the right opportunity comes across for us, we're going to jump on it, because our goal is to get these products developed, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get the products developed. That's our first goal. The second goal is to make sure that everyone who invests in us makes a lot of money, and we're going to do that. If this right SPAC opportunity comes up, we're going to take it. Otherwise, our expectation is we're going to have the valuation to do a very large IPO next year, as we keep hitting these near-term and longer-term inflection points.
Okay, Bill and Michael, I want to say on behalf of all parents and patients out there, thank you so much for driving such a noble initiative. The Circle of Money is going to need some time to discuss this further, and then we'll invite you back shortly with our decision.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. This investment would mean so much to the company. To be able to go into phase 2, to get the capital that we need now, means that we could get this product to market when we expect to get it to market, and people could start benefiting from it.
Okay, panel, who's ready to brush their teeth? What do y'all think about Michael and Bill's business?
It's very intriguing. And I think doing something practical like brushing your teeth is a great way to administer this product.
And I love the fact that we already have this habit. So, the hardest part is teaching the consumer what to do with their new product. This, you already know what to do.
Well, I find the delivery method of the drug creative, but I still need to learn a lot more.
I wonder how much extra it is than just regular toothpaste, and will insurance cover this?
Good point.
One of the beauty of pharmaceutical industry is when you have a problem like this, you don't really care how much you pay for toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
I came in kind of expecting to be quite negative from the scientific point of view and experimental research, and will it really work and how important is it? And it's a platform. Is it applicable to other things, and their patents assure me of that, and I think the growth potential is large. So I'm confident in this one.
Mm-hmm.
From an investment perspective, how should we think about risk? So if I'm an investor and we know that their human trials are starting in phase 1, is it better as an investor to think about this now versus waiting for the outcome of those trials?
Well, of course, if you wait for the outcome of the trials and the outcome are positive, you're not going to get in at this valuation.
Does anybody else have any other thoughts, questions before we bring them back?
No, let's do it.
Well, let's bring them back.
All right.
Gentlemen, we have 60 seconds for you to pitch us and our investors around the world why we should invest in your company. Let's count it down.
Unicorn hunters, the food allergy community is desperate for a treatment that's safe, easy, and effective. So now is the time for your investment to help make their dreams become a reality.
We have all the upside of a biotechnology company, but we have much lower risk. This product has been used by Bill in his practice. We know that if you incorporate protein into our toothpaste base, it does get exposed to the immune system. We also know from university studies, if you put peanut protein into someone's mouth, you will desensitize them. So we have a very large number of potential liquidity events going forward. We have a number of events that will increase the value as we move along. So we would love for you guys to invest in us now and make a lot of money and help get this product out.
All right, thank you so much for your presentation. And now, Circle of Money, it is time to make our decisions. You want to start, Mo?
Bill and Michael, for a little while I was thinking I was going to wait to see the results of your clinical study, but I changed my mind. This is very close to home for me. I'm going to invest in you.
Oh, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm not an expert in biotech, but I was very impressed by my colleagues' opinion. So I'll go back, do my research, and then make a decision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This could be a game changer for a lot of families. I am definitely interested. I really want to do a little bit more homework, though, before I step into it, but it really looks promising.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As a Wall Street investment professional, I'm not the investor, but I think that this is an opportunity that really speaks to what the Unicorn Hunters is all about. I'm looking forward to seeing the results.
Thank you, Scott.
I am personally intrigued. My wife would tell you that I am so caring about anyone with any allergy more than almost any other medical thing, because I've been through it, and that's so important to me. So I realize the hugeness of what you're doing. I did not expect at all that I could come out so positive as I did listening to your stories. I am in and I'm going to invest.
Great.
Thank you.
Guys, great job on the presentation. I learned a lot, and I don't have much experience in the biotech investment world, but this sounds very, very promising, but I am going to do a little more homework. I need my due diligence for sure before I commit to investment, but this is really great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm not an expert in medicine or in allergies, so I'm going to decide purely on a business logic. If you're successful in what you are trying to achieve, your valuation is going to grow probably 100 to 1 from the current valuation of $80 million. In other words, if I invest in companies like yours, only 1 out of 100 needs to succeed in order for me to recoup the money. And I feel that your chances are way higher than 1%. So I'm going to invest.
Great, Alex. Thank you.
Bill, Michael, thank you for coming here and for sharing your company with us.
Great. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
I really like the product.
I think this is a fantastic concept. I think there's a possibility here.
The biotech space is huge right now. One word I love is disruptive, and this is that.
We're absolutely positive that Intrommune Therapeutics has the potential to become a unicorn company.
We're extremely grateful to have the opportunity to be on Unicorn Hunters. It's going to allow us to develop our products and let people live their lives without fear.
Thank you all for watching Unicorn Hunters. Please remember to connect with us on social media. Until we all meet again, the hunt continues. What are we? Unicorn Hunters!
Unicorn Hunters is not a financial advisor or broker. It showcases potential unicorns on its show, but we do not make any representations or guarantees about their future value. All investments have significant risks. If you choose to invest in a company presented on Unicorn Hunters, it will be between you and the company.